This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
The psychology of serial killers and why they captivate us is coming to Australia. Thursday, May 29, playing the Astor Theatre. The host is Dr Rachel Toles, who joins us now from South Carolina. She is an expert in serial killers and we're here for it. Hello, Rachel.
Morning.
Hello. Hi. I'm actually right now in Indianapolis, Indiana, because I'm on my second U.S. tour, The Psychology of a Murderer. So it's talking about the everyman versus the serial killer. So, but I'm not in South Carolina at this moment.
Oh, okay. Great.
But hi. Nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, you too. Now, we are all on board. I love nothing more than listening to a true crime podcast. And it does seem to be a bit of an affliction for middle-aged white women that we really do get into this stuff, don't we? That, statistically, that's true.
Statistically, yes. I mean, I've always said, certainly for the last year, I've been known to say that, women love true crime the way men love pornography. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, men love to talk about sex, women love to talk about murder. That's because, while men spend their lives scanning for sexual conquest, us women spend our lives scanning to avoid getting murdered.
Sean, over to you.
True. And so,
wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Hey, on that, Dr. Toles, a lot of the people that we see are men who are serial killers. Is there many women over that we know?
Great question. So I'll give you some stats.
Okay.
One of the stats, just to know, 65% of all serial killers come from the U.S., and the second highest percentage for country, like the country with the second highest most, is England, and they come in at 3.4%. So that just gives you an idea of how many serial killers are in the U.S. It's just so I've got a chart, so when whoever comes to the show, they're going to get to see the full chart from the serial killer database of all the different countries.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very significant. So when it comes to males and females, there are stats. So about 92 to 93% of all serial killers are males, and then so that makes about 7% female. However, of that 7%, over 1/3 of them have a male accomplice.
Okay.
So that tells you it's very rare. And so when women kill, they're very practical about it typically. They want to get the job done. The only time, for the most part, that women are ever sadistic in their kills is if they have a male accomplice, because they know that it gets him off, because the sadism comes in when it's the male killer.
All right, you really know yourself.
Wow.
Dr. Toles, just on that, what contributes to the making of a serial killer? And maybe mention what's happening in the US that's putting that percentage so high.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the great question. So I've come to find, as I'm going to really at length get into in the show, that there are 9 cumulative factors that always make a serial killer, and not in any particular order. And I go through those factors. And the U.S., I think, first of all, when I get into those 9 factors, I'm going to also be talking about culture. And if you think about cultural things, I mean, the U.S. has a fetishization when it comes to the individual, big time, the American hero. And what it means is very black and white thinking. And then you've got the fetishization of guns, which as a Canadian, I would love if they just, I know you can never get you'll never be able to take away their guns. But the number one weapon of choice of serial killers is a handgun. A lot of people think it's strangulation. It's actually a handgun.
So the ease of a weapon and being able to procure that makes it easier.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's those 2 factors, but it's a lot of black and white thinking, and just if you're not the best, then you're the worst. And so now we, of course, are seeing way more mass shooting, and so the idea of these kids that are coming with these guns, they're like, I got to be somebody special, and I'm going to have to go out with a bang, then at least I'll be someone special.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've got to talk about what that psychology is.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So our boss, David, he accidentally sent a consensual, sexy Snapchat to a work colleague instead of its intended recipient. And that's just an awkward conversation.
Pretty funny. You've got dirt on them for life.
I know, right?
That's fantastic. I love when people have sent wrong maybe pictures and or text messages. And this happened to a friend of mine, Matthew. I'm going to go with his first name. I won't say the nicknames. But he was down at the raffles and he was having a meeting with somebody.
and it was going really poorly.
Like a business meeting kind of thing
It was
about
going
it.
really poorly.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting along with the guy at all. So the guy got up to go to the toilet and left his phone on the table. Matthew rings another friend, Brad. I'll go with his first name as well.
Rings him or texts him?
Texts him. And he says, this is going terribly. A lot of swear words about the guy he's dealing with.
Like a quick character assessment.
Yep. And give me a call in like 5 minutes so that I can use that as a way of getting out of this meeting.
Yep.
And he pressed
So
sends.
girls get out of dates, but keep going.
He press sends, the phone is on the table and just beeps.
Oh,
and
no.
he realised he's sent it directly to this guy who's just gone to the toilet. So he reckons the first thing that went through his mind is he stood up, he grabbed this guy's phone and he's thinking, I'm pegging
Because
this
he'd be
thing.
looking at it like, can I delete it? Can I delete it?
Yeah.
But you can't.
He can't. So he's got it in his phone and he's thinking, I'm going to just peg this into the river because you're right. You're out in that outdoor section at the Raffles.
He comes back and it's like, where's my phone? I know you took it with you to the toilet.
So what do you do?
In the end, he decided to come. The best thing was he came clean to the guy face to face and then just left.
Yeah.
That is super
That's
awkward.
mortifying. Roxy's in Belden. Morning, Roxy.
Morning.
What happened?
Yeah, so it wasn't actually me. It was my brother-in-law, and it was about 10 years ago. And Instagram had just started, and he had just started dating a girl who he's actually now engaged to. And he went onto Instagram because they had this filter thing where you could, filter your pictures. And he thought, he took a obviously shot of his bits and put the filter on, but didn't realise that he actually posted it to Instagram.
Oh. But at least there was a filter on it, so it looked good,
Yeah. Until he got a message from one of his mates saying, hey, mate, I don't know if you realise, but your bits are all over the internet.
Yeah.
How long would have it lasted up before you...
Don't say how long.
That's really good.
Lasted up.
Lasted up. Yeah. I mean,
We'll just move on.
Was it on Instagram for long?
I don't think so. It was probably like a few hours, and Instagram was quite new, so there weren't too many people on it, but the story does get circulated still to this day.
The fact that he filtered that.
Yeah, I know.
It's two different shades.
Look, it's best.
Yeah.
Valencia, black
Whack
and
the
white.
Paris filter on that. It comes up a treat. Smooth out the wrinkles. Thanks, Roxy. Ashley's in Girraween. Hello.
So I worked for this guy probably like a year ago now, and he was just horrible. He would make me do his personal things, pick up, shoes for him, and I was his bookkeeper at the time. So he was just horrible. And one day he was just being an absolute arse, and I was messaging my partner, and I was just going in about my boss.
Yep.
Yes.
Coming clean.
And
Yep.
I've accidentally sent it to my boss.
Oh, Ash. What do you
happened?
do then? I mean, obviously, you feel in the pit of your stomach, you feel so bad.
I was just beside myself. I was crying. I rang my partner and I was just like, oh my God, I've just sent him this message and I've called him all these names.
Yes.
I've gone in and my boss ended up calling me and just blasting me, and then I lost my job on the spot.
Oh.
So,
But also, was that secretly really just a good thing?
it was. Looking back, it was.
And you told him.
Yeah.
And you told him.
Yeah.
You said your bit. You didn't mean to.
Yeah.
You said your bit about it.
Yeah.
To him.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Got it off my
Ash.
chest.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's...
All right. What got sent to the wrong person, Sarah?
That was actually my dad a few years ago. So I was at work and I got a text message from him. It's not like Snapchat, so you kind of have access to it straight away.
Yeah.
And he had sent me a photo of his bit. I put him immediately, and he at the time had a girlfriend named Sarah as well. So I assumed sent it to the wrong Sarah.
That is...
He tried to cover it up.
How?
But
What did he say?
With a
How?
sock.
he said it was an accident, and the camera was just on accidentally.
Oh,
whatever,
and he had no
but
pants
it
on.
was,
Well,
and yeah.
It was not an accident. It was very well prepared. That's all I would say.
It was well prepared. Sarah.
You don't want to see that side of your dad.
No, and then I asked him if he wanted me to forward that to the right Sarah, just to tease him a bit. But I think he couldn't look at me, and we were a bit awkward for
Yes.
about 2 weeks after
Yeah.
Oh,
no, that's-
God.
You've seen a side of your dad that no daughter needs to see.
A
You know what I
side or
mean?
a length?
That's the stuff of
Oh,
nightmares.
I'm mortified on everybody's behalf there. That's awful. But and dads, if you're going to date someone and their name is the same as your daughter's, you need to put something in your phone that makes it very apparent that they're different people. Very apparent.
Well, just don't send those pics.
Oh, no, that's not an
that's-
option.
okay,
What are you
sorry.
talking about?
Ross?
Apologies.
Look, so we are talking about when, look, you sent something to the wrong person, whatever it might be, or perhaps you're the recipient and you looked at that and you went, no, there's no way that was meant for me. Laura, hello.
Hey, how you going?
Good, Laura.
Laura.
What happened?
Okay, so I worked in aged care for 24 years. When emails first came out,
Yes.
and one of our lovely residents had passed away, so our manager had sent a message out to everyone to let us know. And I've written back OF, like the F word, because we love this lady.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just going back to my manager, and I didn't realise it was going back to about 400 staff.
Oh,
So,
the old
I was called into
group
the
message.
office and,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look
Anyway,
Oh, do you get in trouble, Laura?
Oh, not a lot of trouble. They knew my personality, but they
Yeah.
just wanted me to realise that, you know, if you're replying to an email, that it's going to go to everybody.
The old reply all, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that'll get me.
And it was at the
regularly.
beginning. It was at the beginning of email.
Yeah.
You know,
But I think that was a nice thing to say because
Yeah.
you
Yes,
were
the-
fond of that lady.
the sentiment was there.
Sentiment.
I mean, your
Yeah, for
language,
sure.
filthy potty mouth, but the sentiment's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks, Laura. Colin's in Stratton. Morning, Col.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
All right, Colin, what happened?
Okay, so look, it wasn't me, it was my sister. The long and short of it, and I'll preface it with, she's 24, dating this lovely guy, Adrian. Now,
Yep.
they'd been going out for 6, 8, 9 months, whatever at this time. And they'd finally got that, like, oh, it's okay to send those pictures phase, which I don't know, that's where they were at, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, my uncle's name is also Adrian, and his wife is also Jess.
Oh.
So, they actually had exchanged photos before realizing that it was each other.
Hang on.
You
wait.
had two of the combination, two women with Jess.
Yes. So
the two men were Adrian.
The Adrian-Jess combination times two.
And then, obviously, the horrified reaction when it sounds like, so I actually had to fact check this. I asked them, I wanted to find out. She said, Adrian, apparently, my uncle had, spoken to his wife going like, oh, I love that pic, blah, blah, blah.
And she said,
she's
what
gone,
pic?
What picture?
How well do you know your partner? You're not picking that up.
Yeah, because you should know their body, shouldn't you?
Yes,
or
you
their,
should
I mean, is the face in
recognise
there?
the angle. There maybe it's a different angle to what you're
Well,
used
we
to
did talk
looking at
about filters just before.
I mean, good for her because she's 20 years older than my Jess.
Yes.
So power to her if she can pull that off. But
Yes.
it was an interesting family.
Yeah, makes Christmas awkward, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, Cole.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cole, I've got two sister-in-laws that are both Nicole McManuses, and their middle name starts with a J too, so that's always making things difficult for them. But having that combination, two Jesses, two Adrians in the family.
When it's your uncle as well. Like
Yeah.
when you discover you've been sending sexy pics to your uncle,
Back and forth.
that's not good.
If he sends one
it
back,
sounded like
though.
it was only the one.
Right,
But
yeah.
One is too many. I'm just going to put it out there. Oh, Colin.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
2/3 of the Inspired Unemployed. Someone's not carrying their weight, you know what I mean? Well, Jack and Falcon join us now. Good morning, fellas.
How are we? Good, thanks. So can I just quickly say, is the reason you're slightly delayed in coming to talk to us is because you're getting a photo with Maggie Dent, the child expert?
Yeah, she gave us some tips then. And as we just found out, we're like, oh, where do you live? She's like, oh, yeah, I grew up in I'm from Gerringong. And we're like, we live in Gerringong.
Yeah.
Like,
What? Small town, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. I grew up in Gerringong my whole life, but we live in Kiama. But it's like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Small world.
How big is that? And then tell me how big Kiama High School is when you first caught up with each other.
Well, I think Kiama's 20,000, I'm saying. I don't even know. That's right.
And I think Gerringong's like maybe 5,000.
5 or 10 now. Be getting bigger. But then, so you have like Kiama High would be Gerringong, Kiama, Minamara, where I was from, and Jamberoo. So the 5 closest towns, which are not far and they're not that big, they all go to Kiama High. So And Falcon was pretty much inbred, if I say.
I'll admit it. No.
So it's not, you're not inbred, but you're related to every person at school, pretty much.
So my dad is one of 9, and he lives in Gerringong.
Right.
My mum is one of 12, and she lives in Berry, which is like 10 minutes away. So I got a big family.
So he couldn't pervert anyone because they might be his cousin.
They were all cousins. All cousins.
Falcon, I'm from a big family as well, and constantly I get asked, people say, I met your cousin, and I don't know who that is, because that could be one of just a list of thousands, to be honest. And you just kind of nod your head, and people come up to you and say, we're cousins, and I just go, great. I don't even know if that's true or not, but I just go with it.
Honestly, and then even at like Christmas, like on my mum's side, we have to do Christmas like 2 weeks in advance because there's just too many of us. And I'm literally, it's like a festival. I'm walking around like.
Yeah, I got quite a big family too. My nan's one of 13, and so I got and my same on the other side. So I got cousins everywhere.
This is how we have such like a big following. It's just literally our cousins, aunties and uncles.
Obligation.
So guys, let's talk about the list, because this is you guys going around the world doing a lot of things that seem painful.
Set fire to yourself. You've a lot of fighting, nudity. Did you have a favourite memorable?
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was a bit of pain involved. Favourite moment from the trip? Jack got bashed pretty bad in Malaysia.
That was your favourite bit.
But you chose to, right?
Was that with a big group? Was that like a big mosh pit of just
shirtless people?
Yeah.
So it was like, it's called Silat martial arts. So it's in Malaysia. And we went there to get, initiated into their fighting group. And, every year they initiate like 4 or 5 people, and they have this thing called the Royal Rumble. So you do all these like
we got one
practice how to fight, and then the top 5 people that get initiated go into the middle of like a group of like 30 to 50 people, and they got to protect each other, the 5, and the rest just come in and just try and kill you pretty much.
So this is Malaysian
really
Fight Club is what it is.
Yeah. So our producers were trying to explain to this group of 40 excited, kind of anywhere. How old were they? Like 13 to up to like 30.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what was going on. They didn't really speak English, so they were just like, I can't wait to go to school tomorrow and brag that I just bashed someone.
Yeah.
And we could see that in their faces, but we all kind of were like, I think we're in for a bit more than we're bitten off. We can chew here, and we're gonna post a photo tonight on our Instagram. But I had I was cut open from the top of my head to the bottom of my chin, pretty much, like fully bleeding.
That's them not hitting your face. Imagine.
It was a flying knee to the head.
No, it was flying kick.
The
guy just the flying dragon. Yeah, just come in and just cracked me. And but you just should have seen him.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was absolutely fine.
Stole his lunch.
I got him in the car park later on after the cameras.
Hey, there's one, and I don't know if this happened in Japan. Is Japan when you went under the water? Where was that exactly? Because I've seen that before, and can you give me the understanding of, is it monks that stand under that unbelievably freezing cold water?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
you're well-travelled.
It's a cleansing thing.
Yeah. So we trained with these the Yamabushi mountain monks. So you do like this ritual and stuff, and then they stand under this waterfall. It's freezing cold, and it's to like cleanse yourself and get out of your head. And
I don't think people know how hard that thing was falling.
So the water, it doesn't look that bad, but when you're under there, it was
and cold.
Pretty funny.
How cold?
Yeah, it just felt like bullets, but it was that heavy, and you can't really tell. I mean, we're trying to justify it, but it was it was hitting that hard. It was hard to even stand under. Yeah. So that was.
Did you reach a Zen state?
We did. No, I got told I was going bald from the monk.
Well, this sounds like the worst Kentucky trip of all time. It's going to be fun for the rest of us to watch. It is called The List. Jack Falcon, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Stay safe. Can't wait for season 2. Geez, what are they going to do to you there?
I don't know. If you need security, let us know. We're here.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.